Welcome to the Love What You Do podcast. I'm your host, Doug Shapiro. These are the conversations that open doors to what's possible when you love what you do. You're number two.
Number two?
Yeah. So, I'm trying to make the most out of this setup while we can. Change shirts.
How many do you have today?
4.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really the maximum, because
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's just, you want to make sure that, like, even that would be okay. You guys don't have the earbuds on.
Yeah.
But like that would even still be okay. I think it might pick up just the faintness in the background, but we're in Chicago and gives a Chicago vibe. Yeah. I'm going to start off with like some softball questions just for fun. Like before we even get into the podcast, I'm just going to toss you some fun questions. They might be fun for social.
Okay.
So like if you even like have to think about an answer for a while, that's fine. Cause like we could just cut out the thinking part. It'll be like a clever way to get started. And then I'll kick off the podcast with an intro to you.
Okay, cool. Good.
Awesome.
Good.
All right. We sound good. We're rolling. All right. Good deal.
Perfect.
All right. Gilbert, first CD you ever bought?
Ooh, first CD. Wow, trying to remember way back when. Actually, it probably was some Puerto Rican music, some of the old school, like Playero, I think is the name of it, which was like the original, like reggaeton kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. I love some reggaeton. Who's singing on Playero?
It was, the original ones. Daddy Yankee was super young back then. Yeah. There were several ones, my God.
Tego Calderon?
Tego was like a kid at the time, but it was right at the beginnings when all of them were starting. Yeah.
I know that era.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. What movie have you seen too many times?
What Dreams May Come is my favorite all-time movie. I actually don't see it as much as I should. The one that I see the most is really Steel Magnolias.
Okay, awesome.
It's like the wholesome, good-natured, kind of funny, sarcastic kind of movie.
I love it. All right, career theme song.
Career theme song. Wow. These are softballs? Really? Career theme song.
Take your time.
Yeah. What is the name of? Oh my God! It always says you can do it. Oh my God! What is the name of it? I cannot remember for the life of me the name of it.
Good. I don't know. All right.
Draw a blank. I cannot remember for the life of me the name of that song.
We're gonna Google that one afterwards.
I'm terrible at names.
All right, last one. If you weren't doing this job in this industry, what would you be doing?
My family probably would say politics.
Okay.
My husband would say that he will leave me, so I cannot do politics. Probably something civil, something to do with society and helping groups.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Gilbert, welcome to the Love What You Do podcast.
Thank you.
I'm excited to have you on. Gilbert Broco, president of CI Group. You have, I don't know how many locations, a bunch of locations all over the Southeast. So, it's funny. I was name dropping people that I'd be interviewing just to build some interest. And I mention your name, and like everybody that knows you is like, I love that guy. And it's kind of like, what is this guy doing? What is his like secret sauce?
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. For me, everything that I do, it has to be with human-centric. So I just treat people the way that I want to be treated. Simple as that.
Awesome. That's a good recipe. Today, I know a lot of what we want to talk about is culture. Born and raised in Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. Let's just get into that. How does How does that upbringing come into your life today and your professional work?
It it uh, it actually does in everything that I do. Puerto Rico being a small island, its culture is derived from the Spanish colonizers, the African slaves, and the Taino native Indians. Combine that with being a Commonwealth of the United States for over 100 years, so the American culture is also intertwined in it. It is very family oriented. The bonds connect not only in your immediate family but outside of it. Your neighbors and your parents' friends become your uncles, your tios and tias, and their kids are your cousins. I they love music. They are very creative. Love dancing. Love finding opportunities in the most difficult situations,
Mm.
and make fun from tragedy. So I do all of that. Is definitely part of who I am now. Very human centric, very family oriented. Where everyone that I work with, everyone that I do business with, everyone that I'm friends with, are I treat them as family. I think that's basically the sweet sauce for me for success.
I love that. The comment that you made about finding opportunity in difficult situations, I think that's a really unique aspect of a culture
Yeah.
that, I don't know if that's commonly understood, or maybe you've just taken the time to really understand where you came from.
Mm.
Um, but I think that's like a really special piece of culture that can influence anything you do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Uh, Going back to Puerto Rico, when they go through tragedies like hurricanes, like Hurricane Maria several years ago, when it destroyed the island, um, people were getting together in their communities with their families, and having outdoor parties and gathering whatever they had to eat and sharing it with everyone, and making long lines for gas, but everyone was either laughing or enjoying some type of music or something that will take them away from that situation and put them in the reality of, we're alive, we can handle anything, we should be good.
Wow.
And that is definitely the heart of Puerto Rico. I don't know if people fully realize it, but it is ingrained in everyone.
Is it like like I'm trying to understand the layers of that.
Yeah.
Like, is it rooted in appreciation? Is it rooted in um, just sort of like love for your neighbor, or what is like fundamental to that? So that basically, like, how does anyone access that?
Mhm.
Let's say I'm not from Puerto Rico, but I'm inspired by that. Like, how do I access that inside me?
Um, I would say that you have to. It all boils down to treating people the way that you want to be treated, and being upfront with who you are and being authentic to who you are. In Puerto Rico, because of the mix of cultures, because of truly being under other countries throughout its histories, first with Spain, then United States, they feel that they don't have the full capability of actually being themselves. So they actually find other ways to build that. And in adversity, I think that's where everyone can thrive. Whenever something that is happening that is difficult in life, people should always pause and just think, okay, put things in perspective. What's the reality of it? Why worry on something that you can't change? And if you can change it, why are you worrying? Just do it and change it. Having that type of mentality can, give you that sense of nothing. It's tragic until death, and even in death, you're just going to another realm that no one knows. So again, it's another opportunity.
I think that attitude is going to carry you. I mean, obviously, it already has. Um, you mentioned a little bit about identity.
Mhm.
let's talk about embracing identity. Like, what does that mean to you? How does that become a tool for you?
Um, I I usually say that I was born twice.
Ha!
I was born August 28, 1980 in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and then I was born summer of 2000 when I was just turning 20, and I came out of the closet and became an open gay young man, kid, whatever you want to call it. I think
Yeah.
I was a kid at 20. Um, that moment where that happened for me was key for actually, for the first time, feeling free to be myself, completely myself, fully authentic, without fear of any negative situation happening to me. It was happening. There's racism, there's homophobia all over. But by being able to be myself in front of the people that I love, made me fully love who I am and embrace who I am. And I bring that back to design. I bring that back to my personal life. I bring that back to as a leader, as a designer. All I think it's important for designers to create spaces using inclusive design. I think when you're creating spaces that people can relate and be part of it, you are creating a space for everyone. You are not only inspiring the people that are using the space, you are empowering them to be their fullest potential. Personally, I surround myself with people that are fully authentic. That it is not about being arrogant or feeling that you're superior to others. It's just being who you are and embracing that with your virtues and your flaws. Being being able to communicate with others, not where they not where you think they are supposed to be, but where they are.
Hmm.
So being able to embrace and be empathetic with people, having those types of communication and collaboration creates a better dialogue, and it opens it up for people being fully authentic. And in my personal or in my as a leader, I truly create or believe in an environment that everyone has a seat at the table. Everyone in a company, ours at CI Group or anywhere else, is important, right? Every aspect, every department, every position is important for the overall success of the company. By understanding that, yes, there's hierarchy in positions because there's rules and things that you have to follow through. But understanding that it doesn't matter about that hierarchy, everyone, it's equally important. That opens the door for innovation. That opens the door for new ideas and for people that are in a position that are not necessarily the position that they're gonna be passionate about, but they have the opportunity to find another position or create another position that will embrace who they are, but also what the company needs.
I love this. There's a bunch of questions
Yeah,
right in my
yeah,
head right
please.
now. So I want to ask you about strategies around inclusive design, strategies around helping others in your organization feel important. Before I go there, though,
Yeah,
I want to go back to 20-year-old.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because you kind of, you know, this idea of being born a second time. I mean, that's not a light statement, right? I mean, this
Hmm.
is like literally embarking on a second life.
Hmm.
Um, like, take me there.
Yeah.
What's that story? What's the most memorable part of that?
It was a difficult time. I was going through college. I was at the University of Puerto Rico in the School of Architecture at the time. Again, Puerto Rico is 100 miles by 35-mile island, so it's a small island. My parents lived half an hour from the university, so I was still living with my parents. And situations in the family happened where actually a family member found out that I was gay, and instead of actually coming and talking to me, went to my parents and told them. So my parents confronted me about it, and I felt that I was against a wall, so I accepted it, and it was hard. hard process. It took me a long time to accept myself, to get to that point where I could say that I was gay. Was raised in a Catholic conservative family, as I would say 90% of the families in Puerto Rico. So that time that it took me to understand and accept it, I understood that I had to give it to my loved ones, to understand and accept it as well. So it was a difficult, tumultuous time, to be able to find that happy medium, where they understood that nothing changed, that the person that they knew was exactly that same person, but that, yeah, didn't like girls, like boys. Nature happens.
Yeah.
But going through that, and actually, through that process, my biggest fear was, making my parents be disappointed about me. Raised with my sister, we were straight A's, good students, all doing things right. As going through or growing up in Catholic private school, I knew I was different since I was like 4 years old.
Oh,
But
wow.
I pushed that back, and many nights I will go to bed praying that I will wake up different, and hearing the information that we were being taught, as this was wrong. So I go to university, and when I start going to college is when I actually I'm more open to different people, right? Different mentalities and different ways of living. And it took me a while to research and actually learn about different religions and different cultures, and understanding that at the end of the day, everything is about love and respect, and that it doesn't matter who you are as a human, as diverse as we are. We all want the same thing. We all want to feel sense of belonging. So by accepting that, it actually gave me the strength to just be proud of who I am, and not hide it. There's nothing that I needed to hide about, which for my first 20 years I was. So that's why, the main reason why I say that I was born again, because I was, for the first time again, free, truly free to just being who I was. When my now husband and I moved from Puerto Rico to Florida, we moved to Jacksonville, and that movement, that was a culture shock first, but also we promised each other that we were not going to accept a job where we felt that we had to go backwards and not show who we really were. So we both did intentionally, whenever we had an interview for work, we will mention our other half. I will mention him, he will mention me. If there was a weird negative reaction, I was not going to accept the job, no matter how much money, no matter what the position was. I have to say I was very lucky. First job wasn't a problem. I was at another contract furniture dealership there, which is another crazy story, because I had not worked in contract furniture before. I was working in architecture and interior design back in Puerto Rico, and I lied through the entire interview to get the job. And after the interview, I stopped at a Barnes and Nobles, bought a book about office furniture, and read about pedestals and cantilevers and panel systems. That was
my
a
gosh.
Friday, and I was starting Monday, so the whole weekend I was reading this book to know what mobile pedestals were, and that's how I started then. But again, by being able to fully feeling comfortable in my own skin, gave me that opportunity to just not miss on things that were happening around me that normally I would have thought it twice, or be cautious about it. I stopped being cautious.
Wow. I mean, that really touched me. Everything you've gone through. Thank you for going there.
No, thanks.
It's an inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you.
You said something. You said we all want the same thing, and that really stuck with me. And I kind of feel like sometimes we forget that. Like every time I'm reminded of that. Everyone feels so similar. Like I feel closer to other people
Mhm.
knowing that we all want exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
You want validation, you want acceptance, that is sort of the code to the world.
hmm No, absolutely. You were talking about the other day. I saw a post that you were talking about imposter syndrome,
Oh yeah.
and it's real. I think everyone has it, and if you don't have it, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. It means you don't care.
Right, right. If you care, you will feel you will doubt about what you're doing, and you will doubt that you can do it. I think the key to it is just knowing that that's there, and then keep going and passing through that, and going through the difficult process.
Yeah. I mean, I had the same conversation last night with our VP of marketing, Ashley. We were saying the same thing about, like, gosh, sometimes we look around and we're like, wait a minute, are we really supposed to be doing this? Are we really supposed to be deciding this? And I think that's a huge point coming from someone like yourself as a president of a multi-location dealership saying, you know, you're going to doubt yourself and that's okay.
Yeah.
It just means you care.
Right, right. Yeah, look, I didn't start in this company as a president. I started 15 years ago as a designer when they were opening the third office in Jacksonville, and I've had 8 or 9 positions in the company.
Wow.
The majority of them we created them because the company had new needs, and most of them we had no idea what it really had to be. So I just designed a job description based on the specific needs that we had at the moment, and then just went with it, and was able to grow with the company as the company grew as well. So again, it's just being able to do what you see that needs to be done in order to make things better.
Yeah. I love that attitude. All right, I want to get into some of the questions I
Yeah.
left hanging. You talked a little bit about inclusive design.
Mhm.
Are there some shining examples to you? Because I think that's one of those things that's hard for our industry to always put a finger on. Like we know what we want, we know
Mm.
how we want it to feel, but like what are some strategies that maybe you have or your team has when you talk about inclusive design?
Um, One of the key things that we have at CI Group is one of our values is all in, which is
Hmm.
ask, learn, and lead.
Ooh.
You asking the right questions whenever you're with a client, taking away your preconceived notions of what design should be, or what you've done in the past that is comes natural to you, and actually hearing what the client really need, and being able to learn from that, and then lead in order to create a project that substantiates and follows through the goals of the client. The we are the we are the experts on workplace. They are the experts on what they do. So we have to understand and learn how to translate that. In inclusive design, basically, you always have to have people in mind. Who are the users? What's the functionality of it, and also where it is, the community around it. Each space should have language that actually talks about the surrounding environment, but also provide the right tools for the users to be able to do whatever the function is. It Whenever you're approaching design, you should be moving forward, always moving forward and thinking ahead. You see what the needs are right now, but being able to use strategic foresight and think actually in the future, and be able to predict more information that the client actually doesn't even know that
Mhm.
they need, and provide those tools at the end. That's for me. That's what basically makes a successful project and using inclusive design.
I love the all in. And I think the key thing that you're hitting on is that inclusive design is not about an outcome. It's more about the process.
Right.
And I think that's where, um, sometimes when you hear that question, when people ask the question about like, well, what are examples of it. Like you're thinking more about like, well, what does the finished product look like, and how do I take that
Right.
and use that on a different project? And it's not
It's not a
about
copy
the
paste.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's all about the process,
Hmm.
and that's the stuff you don't see. I love that. All right, another thing you talked about was creating a sense of importance in your people.
Hmm.
And again, I'm going to go back to strategies. Are there some things, as you look to build that into your culture and how you work, are there some things that you do specifically for that?
We do. We went, I think now it's like 7 or 8 years ago, we went through the process of learning who we really were or who we have become as a company. We had grown really fast, added a lot of locations, different locations, and a lot of new employees. And we truly had not taken the time to pause and see who we have become. We partnered with a third party that specializes in culture and helped us creating one-on-one meetings with all the employees, anonymous surveys, and a bunch of other initiatives. We didn't want to like check the box of like, oh yeah, we care about culture and that's it. We wanted to really live it. And from there, we created a group of culture champions. They represent all locations, all departments. We continue to do the anonymous surveys throughout the year, every year. And we're measuring employee engagement, employee satisfaction, culture, socials, procedures, and from there we've created a bunch of new initiatives, and they all come from the employees. So we're giving them a voice, and it's valid. And we showcase all the results on every survey. We go through them with the culture champions. We extract the information and create initiatives. Things as simple as an employee manual, to things as complicated as changing our entire way of onboarding, performance reviews, all the employee benefits. All those things are coming from the employees. As a leader, as I said before, everyone has a seat at the table. Our doors are always open. If you have an idea, if you think of a different way of doing things, there's no dumb ideas. We will look at it, and if it makes sense, if it actually will be a positive impact to the overall of the company, we will implement it. And we will try things, and if they don't work, they don't work. But we tried it. As a leader, if people are there's different types of leaders. There's the ones that have a lot of experience, know a lot. They can be inspirational, but they have the way of doing things, and people then follow that person. I believe in servant leadership. I work for the employees. My main focus is to be able to provide the right tools for them to succeed professionally, and also the right space for them to succeed personally. If the employees are well taken care of, they're going to take care of the business, and they're going to take care of our clients. So I truly believe that as a leader, you have to take care of your family, right? Your core of employees.
Yeah. I think I love that you had such a deep answer to that question of how do you, what are the strategies to help others feel important? Because I actually think, and you even said something like, well, some things work, some things don't. And I think the point is like, well, one of the things I'm taking away is you're sending these cues, to your people that they're important, just by the work itself. It's less about whether the work worked. It's the fact that you're doing the work.
Yeah.
That in itself, I think is a big difference maker.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And when you give the liberty for people to actually be able to do their job, they're naturally going to feel responsible for it. And you're not going, as a leader, you're not going to have to make people accountable for it because they are feeling that they have to be accountable for it. Having a sense of belonging, that they belong and that what they do is important, gives them that responsibility. And you inspire them that way instead of, giving them a gold star. And
that's the strongest form of accountability, right? It's just deep care for the outcome. I mean, that is like, if you can build that, Yeah, you don't ever need to have metrics, you know?
Right.
I there's, I wanna talk about transitions
Hmm.
and challenges because, I look at, your career, your personal transition that you've gone through, your professional transition, geographic transition. I mean, there's a lot of change.
Hmm.
You went to Barnes and Noble
Yeah.
to learn an industry. Amazing, amazing. Okay, uh, that's a lot. What's the out of all that, and maybe it's not, maybe none of that is it. But what was the biggest challenge
Mm.
of all that you faced?
Um, there was a big culture change moving from Puerto Rico to the States. First, Spanish is my first language, still my first language. We speak Spanish at home every day. Um, so that changing that mindset of actually thinking in Spanish at the time and translating while you're speaking English was really difficult at the beginning. I was working in Puerto Rico. I was working in mostly in interior design and residential. And my bachelor's was in environmental design architecture. So it was very connected with the environment, very tropical architecture with natural light, environments, connected throughout, the indoors with the outdoors. And when I moved to Jacksonville, the contract furniture dealership that I started working with, they specialized in government work. So it was very traditional, very square, cookie cutter kind of environments, set in specific ways. So that culture shock combined with a design difference was a hard process.
Yeah.
It was one of the greatest phases in my life to learn, because that's actually when I learned that everyone at the end of the day just want to feel a sense of belonging, that it didn't matter we were speaking English or Spanish, or if we were talking about a structured environment versus a more liberal environment. We all want the same. So that thought then broke the barriers that I was putting in my mind to be
Hmm.
able to tackle whatever was in front of me. And from there, also, as a personal side too, leaving behind all the people that I knew, all my family, all my friends that I grew up with, and then going to a place that we didn't know anyone was hard. But it taught me again to be able to connect with people that normally I wouldn't have never thought that I was going to connect with, and build relationships that are still to this day extremely important.
It's a great answer, and I can relate to the language one a little bit. And this is going to sound ridiculous, but moving from a Google company to a Microsoft company, which I just
It
did,
is,
it
right?
was like learning a whole new language.
It is so true.
And so in a way, I'm like, gosh, I feel like I just went through this. um, okay, I want to get into your work a little bit as a leader of a dealership. What are some assumptions about your work that you feel like are probably out there that you want to challenge?
Um, I would say that one of the most important things for me is that the wrong idea that contract furniture designers are not real designers,
Mm,
that they're not interior designers per se. This is a viable professional path for design students. Interior design on the studio side is extremely important. It's creating all the space itself, and there's so many things that they have to be thinking of, from the surfaces to the lighting to the wellness to everything, right? In the space. In the contract furniture side, we're the workplace consultant experts. So we're a branch of the interior design industry. Most of or a lot of the designers in contract furniture went through interior design school, have the same education as interior designers in the A&D market, and they have to do CUs and continue to keep up with what's out there, what's the next thing, what's the greatest and latest. and use the same tools, AutoCAD and all the other softwares. So it's a misconception to think that it's less than or not part of. The ones that thrive and that actually are most successful in contract furniture are the ones that can partner with the A&D, and the A&D partners with the dealership from the beginning of a project. Because when they are meeting with the clients and they're thinking of the overall, what their client is telling them, the contract furniture designer is thinking of the specifics of the furniture. And the furniture itself is where people sit, is where people interact, is where people work. So it was what people touch every single day. So having that partnership, understanding that the contract furniture side are the masters of complexity of the workplace space, of the furniture and the architectural walls and all those things, helps the A&D side with the overall of the success of the project.
I like this masters of complexity idea because Lord knows it is complex.
It keeps getting worse and worse.
It's amazing. I mean, I could not agree more with that misconception. And so I'm really glad you addressed it here. Thanks for going there. Let's talk about love what you do. I picked you because I feel like you represent that saying. And gosh, it shows in how you've brought your own culture, into your work habits and your work life. Let's talk about love what you do, though, on days when it's really hard. How do you do that on days when it's hard?
It's hard. And there's going to be days that you don't love that much what you're doing at the moment. But every situation, you can learn from every situation. Difficult times are the best times for growth if you tackle them directly. It is the best time for torture if you don't tackle them directly, and if you're afraid. So I think it's human nature to try to distance yourself from difficult situations or from times that are gonna be not the norm, not what you really want to do. But putting things in perspective, nothing is the end of the world. What we do in interior design can be undone, can be revised. I know that we live in an era where we have this IKEA mentality where everything is now, everything is there, everything is fast. Yeah. I try to not concentrate on that. And always say that you either have it right or now. But you can't have it right now.
That's good. That's good.
So I always try to be come to everything in an empathetic way, and also thinking that everyone has a positive intent. I think that a lot of the times we have preconceived notions and ideas in an era where technology is how we communicate the most, and text and emails don't really have emotions, and you actually put emotions into what you're reading based on what you're going through at the moment, based on your past experience, based on exterior stressors. But so using the positive intent, always thinking that everyone that is coming to me with something, a situation or something, they are coming from a place of trying to fix a situation or trying to find a better solution. It then gives me the opportunity to take that stress out, put myself in their shoes and see, okay, this is a real situation. We should address it and just address it directly. Hard, difficult conversations are needed always. It's part of life. Pivoting, being able to change the course of what you're doing at any given time because new information arises, or something happens, being able to be open to mold yourself as situations arise. That at the end of the day then puts things in perspective. And also at the end of the day, I just go home. I'm with my husband, with our dog, in our home environment, surrounded by people I love. Then makes it worth it.
Yeah. I love your response to this, how do you love what you do on hard days? Because I actually think that this golden nugget of assuming positive intent is such a great life hack.
Yeah.
And I mean, it would be a safer road out there if everyone was doing that. It would be, like that is, and I feel like more than anything, that doesn't have to be some innate thing inside you. Like this is a habit you can create.
Yeah, and I wasn't like that for a long time. This actually, I learned it from my business partner now, Drew Marshall, the CEO. I wanted to fix things, but I was reacting to what was happening at the moment, and he was the one who showed me that just calm down. Think positive intent is what everyone is bringing to the table, and go at it in an empathetic way, and it made a huge difference.
Now there's something else you said about like how when you struggle, that's when you grow.
Yeah.
Um, there's a Dawn Stanley quote. So she's the coach for South Carolina women's basketball, and she says, that parents are stealing the struggle from their kids. I thought that was kind of interesting. And I kind of look at like if you're in a leadership position at work, maybe that's something we need to look out for, is like not to steal the struggle from those that we're mentoring or coaching, and to let them have that opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
And it means, maybe some things aren't done quite the way you would or whatever. But I mean, I like this idea of thinking about that, not just for yourself, but maybe for those you're mentoring.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Again, we don't learn from others. We learn through actions. And I know that as leaders, we want to solve things and move to the next thing, and take fires out constantly. But if you are fixing every single thing for everyone, they're not learning, and they're not actually finding ways to resolve the situations and grow professionally as well. So you have to let people do. You have to trust the people that you put in place. You have to trust the process and training process and everything that you've set for your company. But then you have to let people do their thing. We probably could do it all. You won't have a good life. You will really not enjoy it for the majority of the time. Yeah. And stress will probably, take a big chunk of your life away. So you have to trust your team. You have to trust people to be able to solve situations. And then if they need help, they should feel comfortable enough to then come to you and say, I don't know. I don't know what to do, or I tried this and it didn't work. And you can brainstorm, but always letting them finalize it, letting them do it and get things resolved and done.
I love it. I have a couple other love what you do questions. I might hang on to those for a second. Is there a question maybe that you were hoping I'd ask you, or
let's see,
or something that you want to put out into the universe?
I think you actually did it with the question about the misconceptions about our work. I think that was definitely key. I think another thing would be, as we continue to talk about collaboration and communication, is I feel we are in the world that we're living, in the society that we're living today. We were taught, our generations were taught to not talk about specific things. Like you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about religion, you don't talk about certain things because everyone has their opinion and it can be misconstrued. I think that's the reason why we are where we are right now, because we forgot how to communicate. What I love the most about my circle of friends is that everyone is from different walks of life, and everyone has a right to have their opinion. but they also have to be open to hearing everyone else's opinion. And if people were more like that, more open, that you don't know everything, that there's other ways of doing and living, then I think we would probably be at a better world and a better place.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think that's a brilliant statement. You know, yeah, I've even, I've even kind of said that to my kids, like, hey, these are subjects you want to avoid, and it's like, you
Yeah.
know what, maybe that the lid needs to be taken off that a little bit,
Yeah. I
and
feel, yeah.
encourage more dialogue.
I feel like now we're in a very black and white mentality. It's one side and the other on every little thing. Um, and we're not. The reality of it
Mm,
is humans are diverse. There's everything that happens in our lives shapes who you are and shapes how you see reality. Your reality is completely different than mine. Right now, we're sitting in the same space, but your view is different than mine.
yeah.
What you're
Huh.
thinking through is different than what I'm thinking through. So why would we think that we know everything and we are in the right side of everything? It's knowing how to compromise and learning.
Maybe you should have gone into politics. I mean, the world needs more of you. I can tell you. You're fantastic. All right, finish this sentence for me.
Yeah.
Or actually, let's do it this way. Answer this question. What changes when you love what you do?
What changes what you love when you love what you do? Everything.
Mm,
Everything. When you love what you do, you have a sense of joy in life. It makes stressful days easier, keeps things in perspective. Um, when you love what you do, you are clear in what fills you as a human,
mm,
and what you're good at, what your talent is. If you are able to embrace your talent, if you're able to be passionate about what you do day in day out, you have a better life. Um, I don't believe in living to work. I believe in work to live.
mm.
But that doesn't mean that one is separate from the other. It means that if what you're doing, if what you're doing, it's clear in your mind, and you're passionate about it, um, at the end of the day, you are going to be successful and you're going to have a fulfilled life. And that doesn't have to be about professional success or economical success. It's more about being comfortable in your own skin and giving what's your best part out there, sharing what makes you you. And that's a pretty good life for me.
I love that. I'll tell you what. Thank you for coming on. Thank
Oh,
you for coming
please.
on the show. I'm going to give you one little plug here for you to drop in with CI Group. What is it that you're most proud of with CI Group?
Ah, it's our people, really. We've been able to build a team that truly embraces our culture. Our culture is created by our people and lived by our people. We where we have all our 8 offices are in locations where we are part of the community, and everyone embraces that. A big part of us is giving back to where we are, giving back to the people that are feeding us and are helping us succeed. I would say that at my proudest part of CI Group is that it's who we are, where we are, and how we give back.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Gilbert. This was really fun. You were fantastic.
Oh, thank you. It was great. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
All right. Yeah. You were so
Good.
good. Um, yeah.
No.
I know.
Ah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll just, yeah. And we're still rolling too. So I'll,
Yep.
I'll ask some other, actually, I don't have my thing with me, but I'll ask a few other fun questions. Worst hairstyle you ever had?
Worst hairstyle? Ooh. I don't know what the name in English was, but it was a boina. And it was basically if you took a cap and you put it on your hair and then you shaved everything around it and you had kind of a mushroom head.
A bowl cut.
That's it. Yes. Yes. That was, I loved it at the time.
And
But
what do
then
they
I
call it?
moved. A boina.
A buena.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. All right. How about your favorite outfit that you can remember as a kid?
Favorite. Well, my mom would actually make my sister and I outfits for every summer. My grandparents lived in Miami growing up, and we will spend summers there with them. And my mom will make us shorts and
Oh
t-shirts.
my gosh.
I remember one that it was a very colorful printed with a bunch of little people in bright colors, shorts and like a little tank top. I loved
You
wearing
love
that.
that.
Yes.
Do you wonder if that's still around?
I wish. I
Man,
wish it was. Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, cool. All right.